This episode of the Bottle Rocket podcast is brought to you by GamerClips.tv. Play, share and watch video game frags and clips with hundreds more added every day. Hit the link in the comments section to check them out. Unfortunately, the guys couldn't make it for a podcast this week, so instead we're going to take a look back at some of the best bits from the last couple of months.
Hi guys, welcome to another.
What's the order?
Wow!
Can you move up? What is the order? Ben, Jake, Mance.
Oh, what? God.
Should we go? Alright.
Okay, so hi guys, welcome to episode 1 of the Bottle Rocket podcast with me, Chris. We've got Jake.
Hi.
And Andy.
Safe yo.
And me, Ben.
And me, Rob.
And me, Jace.
I'm going to kick this one straight off by saying I know 2 of the people in this conversation have already seen X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
And I'm one of the 2 that hasn't. So straight off the bat, you know, there's going to be no spoilers because I just don't want to know. I'm going to see it tomorrow.
Oh,
man.
That's fair.
I'm going to see it tomorrow and I want to see everything for myself.
It's
You may not
worth
be
going in.
alone.
Yeah, it's
You'll
worth
die,
going in
cough.
spoiler free.
But, did you guys enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really
did it live up to the hype?
I avoided a lot of the hype, I think. I mean, I knew kind of from you actually, like what it was about. When I saw it and it was a Bryan Singer X-Men film again, I thought, oh, this is weird because they've already rebooted it. Kind of, this is sort of awkward actually. And I wasn't quite sure where they'd take it after X-Men 3 because most of the cast were dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I heard that it was going to try and tie the 2 timelines together, I thought it's going to be a mess, and it was really good actually.
Welcome everybody. To start off, I just want to talk about the giveaway we did over the weekend, the Dead Island Epidemic. Congratulations to Brittany Ewan and Ryan Moore for picking up the free beta keys for that.
Well done.
Well done, guys. Now, that sparked up a bit of a debate because a few of us ended up spending a bit of money on that game, that free-to-play game, with some micro purchases.
Dropping some bones,
Dropping some bones, some RL bones,
as the kids say.
on the DLC, and that sparked up a bit of debate about whether DLC is a good or a bad thing. What's the opinions, guys? What's the census?
That's a broad
DLC
and
is
far-reaching.
amazing.
DLC is amazing,
Best
universally
thing in-
amazing.
It's just the best.
I think a lot of people would disagree with you.
Yes.
It can be amazing, yeah, dedefinitely.
Well,
when, you
lots
say
of
it's
monies.
when you say it's amazing, man, can you just give us a piece of DLC that you think is really amazing?
Well, I know what you're specifically pointing at right here. The
What might that be?
Battlefield starter pack, by any chance? The booster pack.
There we go. Yeah, that'll be the one. Yeah,
Have
so
you-
what the hell?
Have
So-
EA been giving you money again, Mance?
Well, basically,
No, Jake, it's the exact opposite of that. He's been giving EA tons of money for absolutely nothing.
So hang on a minute. What's involved in the Battlefield starter pack?
you get this unlock pack. It basically unlocks every single item that has a level requirement. So if I got to level 15, I unlocked, I don't know, a perk or a gun. I got that at level 1 because I've got the unlock pack.
So
Yeah.
you pay to be better than everyone else.
It's pay to win DLC.
It's
At
not.
this point-
It's just so not.
At this point, you cannot be any better than anybody else. so, because-
How is it not pay to win? Because you're
You've still,
paying
got,
money.
you've still got to have skills to play the game, haven't you? You could be an
Yeah,
absolute
yeah, fair
scrub and
enough.
Still,
Yeah, but a big gun really helps.
yeah.
Yeah, you could ask
Well,
the mercies that.
I just want to start this podcast off by giving a huge thanks to GamerClips TV for supporting the podcast. Check them out at GamerClips.tv, where you can play, watch and share videos of all your gaming exploits on a really neat website that the guys have built. Get over there and check it out. There seems to be a massive push on indie titles coming out at the moment, and I just think that's the best news.
Sliced bread.
The best
I
news
think-
around.
I agree. I think it's I think it's absolutely great that the sort of kind of major players, as it were, are kind of getting behind the indie scene. I do kind of approach this as I approach everything with a fair dose of cynicism. And I think they're sort of getting behind it because they realise just kind of how popular it is, and they want to kind of be seen.
It's massive at the moment. I mean,
Yeah.
the depth and wealth of games. I mean, like Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
Just off the top of the bat, that's an indie game.
Dodge. Massive isn't the word.
And
Minecraft
it's one of
made
the.
by a guy.
It's made by
guy in his
that
bedroom.
guy,
Yes.
and it's absolutely massive.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm sure Minecraft videos take up like 60% of the entire YouTube market, don't they? I'm sure it's the only videos that people upload onto YouTube nowadays.
Pretty much.
Or so it seems every time I click on something.
Yes. I mean, and it's used so ubiquitously as well. Like, I heard a story recently about a teacher using Minecraft in the classroom. Like, he got his entire class to build a village together and kind of work out how it's going to work and things in like 20 networked PCs over a few lessons. It's such a great game, and it is basically just kind of a Lego set in some ways.
Yeah, it's a massive Lego set.
Yeah.
With things that blow it up.
Yes. Things that ruin your
Creepers
Lego.
be creeping.
Exactly. You got the kind of electronic equivalent of your big brother just kind of stamping on what you built.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, start again.
Just for the purpose of Bottle Rocket fans.
Mm-hmm.
If you heard that. Yeah. I love Lucky Creeper.
Now, I understand that you two guys got your hands on the Destiny Alpha
Damn right.
over the
Certainly
other
true.
weekend.
Yeah.
Spill the beans. How
No.
good /
Allow us.
bad was
No.
it?
No, not yours. No. Never.
It's
Well, you're keeping it a secret.
It was pretty awesome, if I'm honest. It's obvious the influence of Halo, obviously with it being developed by Bungie.
It's a massive influence in my opinion, to be fair. Massive.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
just
felt like I was
for
playing Halo.
just for anybody that's been asleep for the past like 12 months, Destiny is a
Game.
massive action role playing first person shooter coming up from Bungie, published by Activision. Across PlayStation 3, 4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and it pledges to be huge. I heard that is Paul McCartney on the composers list for the music?
Pass.
Yeah, no idea with that one.
Apparently,
Yeah.
I heard he was. I don't know what he's actually going to do, but that's irrelevant anyway. So down to gameplay. What's it like? Does it feel like Halo? Or does it feel like its own animal?
I mean, it certainly has, as I say, a lot of influence from what Bungie have learned with Halo. It does play on its own merits as well, though. It certainly has its own individuality, its individual taste, loving the whole sci-fi. And also we've got to bear in mind that it's still technically, I mean, I don't honestly believe it is an alpha build, but technically it's an alpha build game.
From the footage that I've seen, it looks really polished already.
Yeah.
And you don't normally get that in alpha.
Oh no, it's certainly been. I mean, I would say it's probably in line with what most betas come up with these days. They knew what they were doing with this. It's very polished. But I mean, if you look at the trailers again, stuff that they showed at E3, this doesn't look anything like as good as that. So I mean, this really is just a taster by the looks of things. But yeah, it's definitely got its own flavour. It's not just a Halo clone with MMO elements.
Now, we've all been playing on the Destiny beta.
No, you haven't. No answer was.
I have.
No.
Have we all been playing it, or have you and Jake been hogging the controls?
We played the Destiny beta.
And we watched you. Yeah.
Okay, so two of us have been playing the Destiny beta.
Two of us have been playing the Destiny Alpha.
Whoa.
The divide already.
Divide.
So, what did you guys think?
Buy it now. Go. Really? There's a computer right there. Yes, go and buy it now.
What did you like about it, man?
Everything buy it now. It's just everything you could want in a shooting game. The RPG side, the slight MMO side, sick graphics, the
It does look
customizability.
really solid
You
for,
could go on and on.
for what's apparently a beta build.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was quite skeptical when I played the alpha. You know, when you traditionally hear alpha, you think, God, this is going to be an absolute pile of dross.
So it's been a few weeks now since E3, and the dust has settled from the battlefield. Now we've had a chance to sort of digest all the footage. Who do you think won the day, or the couple of days, as it were?
It is a complicated question.
It is a very complicated question.
Because if you think about last year, Microsoft lost that one, I guess, if you're gonna call it winning and losing.
Yeah.
Like they came out with a new console announcement alongside the PlayStation 4, and by the end of the weekend were already backtracking on proposals for it.
Yes, quite famously so.
Yeah, Sony basically just had to kind of appear and laugh at them, and they won.
Yeah, I loved the thing last year with the game swapping between your friends.
Yeah, the video.
That little video where Sony was like, "This is what you have to do to swap games on the PlayStation," and you just handed it over.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's all a bit. I mean, it's all just very commercialized. It's all very. It's difficult to kind of see how it's relevant in terms of to individual gamers in some ways, I guess, because it does just kind of seem like big corporations laughing at each other.
Yeah, definitely.
In some ways. But this year was cool because it did seem to be much more games focused as opposed to just trying to rip each other's new consoles. As in, like, lots of people brought out lots of exclusives and kind of interesting new IPs and things like that. So
now the main battlefield seemed to be, for me, not so much the exclusive IPs, more so the exclusive content in the multi-format IPs.
Yeah, this is a new
thing,
isn't it?
So it's like Call of Duty's coming out on both formats, but you can play it first on Xbox with exclusive content on Xbox, whereas Destiny's coming out on both consoles, but you can get exclusive content on PlayStation, and you can play it first on PlayStation. That seemed to be the big battle this year, whereas the original, the new IP, were sort of pushed to the side a little bit. Yeah,
I think it's interesting that because but it kind of means gone are the days where you really have to choose between the consoles in some ways to get an exclusive game. The game publishers seem to be powerful enough now to actually say, no, we want to release it on multiple consoles. Yeah, and because their architecture is more similar with this generation than in previous ones, from my very limited understanding of how they're built. Like with the last generation, the PS3, they created such a ridiculous actual architecture to the console itself, whereas the Xbox has always been built like a PC in a way. The PlayStation had like the cell processor with like multiple processing things that kind of could work together or not at all, and it was just essentially if you built a game for the damn thing, the effort to convert it to something else was so that Sony thought that would actually make games exclusive. But it turns out people have still managed to be multi-format, and it was in the last console generation, and it is carrying on. So like you say, the only reason to buy a console is depending on which game you want to play now. And
definitely.
Which exclusive bits of DLC you want. Which I don't know is as good a reason as, say, like, you know, in the original Xbox and PlayStation 2 Battlegrounds, where, you know, you could never play Halo on the PlayStation.
Exactly. But then you had Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
On the other side, you know, it was all about, you know, you had to make a decision then. Now, Jake, I understand you've just acquired a new Humble Bundle.
I have just acquired a new Humble Bundle, Chris. Why, thank you for mentioning it.
Why don't you tell us what you got?
I've just acquired the Humble 2K bundle. Humble bundles are where you can pay what you want for a load of DRM-free games, and the money goes to charity and to the developers of the games. So I've managed to pick up BioShock 1 and 2, and Mafia 2, and Spec Ops: The Line, and The Darkness 2, and XCOM: The Bureau Declassified for about $7.50. And if you pay $20, you can also get XCOM: Enemy Unknown and BioShock Infinite.
I'm sorry, did you just say 7? Or
$7.50.
Holy crap.
Holy moly.
I'm getting me
You
one of
want-
them. Yes, I
You
do.
want this. And it goes to Child's Play, who are a great charity who, amongst other things, put video game consoles in hospitals for sick kids. So you should do that. All right, one word and one letter. XCOM.
Enemy Unknown.
Yeah, and there's 2 words as well. It's absolutely, it's absolutely wonderful. And it's kind of everything that a remake should be, because they took the spirit of the original, like this kind of tactical third-person shooter, and they updated it and made it accessible and interesting again, and threw in loads of new ideas. And because they were originally going to make a bland third/first-person shooter, and I think they did. I can't remember what it's called, but it's called XCOM something else. Like, that actually got released, and then that got such bad press in previews. They went, actually, oh wait, no, people want a remake of the original XCOM, and they released that, and that's done amazingly well. It's just great. Have any of you guys actually played it? Or did it kind of?
I haven't played it
at the
myself.
time?
I ashamedly have not played it.
Which I don't know which one I've played.
Yeah.
I'm probably disappointed.
Yeah. Pick it up in the Humble Bundle that we advertised last week.
Yes, it's in that, isn't it? That
It is in
mighty
that.
Humble Bumble. Humble Bumble.
Humble
Bubble,
Bubble.
I struggle to say it every time.
Yeah, and you can play all the other old XCOM games in it, but it's great. It's I just can't use words for it. It's got it's got that kind of old school gaming thing where it doesn't take you by the hand, really. So
no
your guys,
breadcrumbs.
No, your guys in it will die, and they will die after you've got really attached to them. So after you've given them names, after you've kind of chosen their color schemes or whatever, after you've outfitted them with weapons, they will get killed by a lucky alien.
That's a sort of, a gaming rule, isn't it? If you set a name for a character, normally he's going to live till the end.
Yeah.
That's how it normally goes down. You know that character's safe when you've had the ability to name him.
When you call him Yellow Swag XX1234, then yeah.
Then you just want him to die.
But you name your entire squad. I tried to find the most kind of dynamic action hero names ever. So my squad was led by a guy called Rick Dangerforce.
Was his second in command called Dutch?
Yeah, something like that.
Dodge.
And there was I like one of my best moments playing video games in the last kind of year or so was when Rick Dangerforce was on the ropes and on the verge of death, was going to bleed out in a couple of turns, and his entire squad had to push forward to save their commander from death.
I think that's the second best name I've ever heard.
Brilliant.
I'm pretty sure it's the second best name I've ever heard. The first will always go to, I think, is it Sylvester Stallone's kid that's called Sage Moonblood?
Sage Moonblood. That's wonderful.
What a name.
By my next run, there's going to be a Sage Moonblood.
It might as well have just been called LSD Trip.
Sage Moonblood.
Yeah, we just woke up and we found out that our son was called Sage Moonblood, and there was nothing we could do about it. We're really sorry. No, it's brilliant, and it creates these kind of lovely organic moments that you care about, and it does so by creating sort of an element of risk. It also was the first game to kind of convince me that sort of save scumming was a bad thing. You know how you kind of in a challenging game you'll save and then make
the decision.
Yeah. In XCOM, you can turn on a setting at the beginning, which I highly recommend, because it sort of offers it you right at the beginning, where it auto saves every time something happens. I after every turn.
Yeah.
And you don't go back to your autosave. So whatever happens.
Well,
And stays happened.
That's better because it makes your choices mean more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to play the rest of the game. If you've clocked up 20, 30 hours of gameplay,
yeah,
and you make a decision, you've got to live with that then.
Absolutely. It does create the slightly annoying situation that you can get like 10 hours into the game and have your entire squad wiped out and have to start again with a whole load of newbies and fail to complete the game.
Yeah, well, that's your punishment for not being good enough.
Yes, for not responding well to a scaling challenge and not adequately training your raw recruits. But that's okay. Again, choices you made. And there's an expansion out for it as well called Enemy Within, which I haven't played, but I hear is also great and brings in more things from the originals that people liked and more additional stuff like mechs.
Mechs.
So yeah, XCOM is the way to do it right.
Right. That's pretty conclusive.
that was a comprehensive view of XCOM there as well.
You sold it to me, right? It's just
I
I'm
was
pondering whether to click it and get it right now.
Good.
Yeah, so if we're looking for a sponsor from XCOM, then...
Sorry. In the wake of all these YouTube stars being given sponsorship deals. Yeah.
The question of ethics.
Yeah, to be honest, with our hundreds of views, I get like a couple of donuts a week from 2K, I think.
It's episode 10, guys.
Yeah,
a milestone episode.
Good stuff.
Nice. Who'd have thought we'd make it this far?
I know. All those weeks ago.
Easy for me to be fair.
Back at the beginning of summer.
So Comic-Con has just been upon us.
Yes, just falling upon our faces.
If you will, yes.
If you will. And we've seen a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I think it's one of those events that you wait for in the year. It's a bit like the E3 of comics, particularly regarding the movies.
I was going to say it seems to be a lot more about the movies now.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of news breaking in the comic world about various story arcs and stuff that's going on in that, but the overall coverage seems to be about the movies nowadays and the big stars behind it.
You mean like Black Captain America and female Thor, not Lady Thor, Thor.
Make that distinction between the two, please.
That distinction has been made by Marvel themselves.
Right.
but that's within the comics. I highly doubt we'll see that in the movies anytime soon.
Lady Thor.
No. Thor. But
Okay.
Thor is female.
Okay.
There is a character, Lady Thor.
Oh right, fine.
But they're just they're bringing a female Thor in now.
Yeah.
And that is Thor, not the character Lady Thor.
Okay. I like putting femme at the beginning of things, like has come in with the Mass Effect series, so femme Thor we'll go with.
Femme Thor.
Still got a good amount of power behind it.
Definitely, but yeah, like I say, it seems to be a lot more about the movies nowadays.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice that we live in a world where that is possible. I mean, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this would never have happened. Like, 'cause, Comic-Con has been around for quite a while now.
Oh yeah,
but
very long.
It is crazy the amount of money that Hollywood are throwing around at comic book properties to make amazingly good multinational blockbusters out of them. I think it's great.
Take a look at that panel that was sitting there for Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. How much money was on that table, basically?
The payroll just to get that table there that day would have been astronomical.
Absolutely. And like you say, now you can do a Comic-Con that is basically hinged around all the different comic book movies that are going to come out. I'd imagine when... I don't know for sure, but I'd imagine when Spider-Man, the very first one, came out, it would probably have been like a little panel in Comic-Con. It's like, we're actually having a movie about a comic book property. And now you can almost kind of base an entire show around it or kind of hinge it around it.
I think the main reasons that these studios really go to Comic-Con anymore is for the movies. Mm-hmm. That's probably their biggest money spinner at the moment. I think the comics themselves almost come as an aside, which is, I don't know if that's sad or what, but it's obviously a sign of evolution within the industry. So
I guess I was never big into a lot of comics. I think I know about sort of a lot of the heroes and things that are coming out in the films, but I have to admit, like the more recent releases are beginning to test my knowledge quite significantly. I wasn't so up on the last generation, and so I'm kind of, for me at least, or for people like me that perhaps went into the comics as a kid, seeing these kind of guys get brought to the big screen in quite a faithful way, generally.
Now, me and Ben got to see Guardians of the Galaxy last week.
Yeah,
bastards.
And it's been hailed as one of the best ever. It's getting fantastic reviews from all over the place. People just can't seem to say enough good things about this movie.
Are you going to say some bad things about it, Chris?
I don't have any to say about it. It scored over 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's the highest ranking Marvel movie in IMDb's top 250. There's countless reviews giving it 5 stars and perfect reviews.
Yeah.
And it's definitely earned it.
I'd normally be really suspicious about something that was getting like this so much universal positive press. You expect movies to get like a load of positive press in the kind of week they come out, because most studios are pretty careful about who they invite to preview screenings.
Yeah, definitely.
With big blockbusters, they do tend to invite just kind of like everybody, but they'll kind of promote certain reviews and whatever. But no, it's still holding steady at 92% on the tomatometer. Which is a thing. 176 reviews to 15 good reviews to 15 bad ones, which is pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive for any movie.
Yeah,
definitely.
Oh yeah, you see, with it being a comic book franchise as well, you sort of don't expect it to have necessarily such a high rating on like Rotten Tomatoes and things. I think a lot of press reviewers typically, they don't hate on comic book films, but they don't exactly praise them up. So I'm really sort of happy that it's getting the recognition that it deserves, frankly.
Definitely. I mean, we were talking last week about kind of that comic book films are sort of at this point where they could go either way. Like they could become sort of like super serious and too embedded in their own lore, or kind of too blockbustery. Where does this one sit? Like, how does it feel in that whole spectrum?
It feels to me like a comic book movie.
Cool.
In the way that not many of the other movies have. things like the Iron Man movies and Captain America, they feel like action movies based on a comic book.
Yes.
For me, this has got the right mix of humour, action, the look of it. It all just feels like a comic book movie to me.
I have some Robin Williams news. Essentially, because do you know Robin Williams played a lot of World of Warcraft, often under accounts that didn't highlight that he was Robin Williams, but he did play quite a lot of it. And shortly after he died, they set up a petition to create a tribute character for him within the game, and it gathered 11,000 signatures within 24 hours. So they're not entirely certain how exactly they're going to do it, but what they're asking for is there to be a permanent tribute character performing at the World's End Tavern, just kind of delivering the best material forever in the World of Warcraft, which
that would be beautiful.
Awesome.
Do you think that it's kind of ironic that he acted under certain aliases, but if his character was called I Am Robin Williams, literally no one on the earth would have believed that it was Robin Williams. Why don't we talk about probably the biggest talking point from Gamescom? That Rise of the Tomb Raider is exclusive to Xbox platforms next year.
Scumbags.
Absolute BS. I mean,
and the release schedules are close between it and Uncharted as well, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I think that Phil Spencer of Microsoft or somebody described it as a win-win situation. But I mean, who's it win-win for? The 5 people who bought an Xbox One and Microsoft. What about everybody else.
It's a win-win-lose situation.
The losers in capitals.
Yes.
Oh, they've said. Oh no, Crystal Dynamics came out and said, "Oh, but we're not abandoning our PC and PS4 players. You can play Tomb Raider in the Temple of Osiris." Who the fuck wants to play that shit when you've got the AAA awesome follow-up?
Hey, Lara Croft, the Guardian of Light was a great game. I can't wait to play
It actually was. I'm with Jake on that one.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Well, you losers can play that shit while I wait until the 2016 Game of the Year edition of Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Oh, keep your money in your wallet.
It'll come across eventually. They always do. I mean, these days. They say like, well, it's like you could have this much money, or you could make this much more money by, tweaking it slightly and selling it on PlayStation 4 and PC.
Well, I think what happened was the massive amount of fallout caused Microsoft to come out the next day and say that we don't know how long the deal's going to sort of remain exclusive for after their initial deal runs out. That's up to sort of Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics, whoever. But I can almost 100% guarantee that it's going to be out on PlayStation 4 and PC within probably 12 to 18 months.
Yeah. I would put money on it. I really would. Like it was an odd move, but I think it is just kind of them trying to inspire competition again. But especially with like a third-party IP like Tomb Raider. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Something that Microsoft makes in-house, or something quite close to their chest, like Halo. You would never expect that to go onto PlayStation, but Tomb Raider.
Yeah, exactly. Tomb Raider found its feet on like PlayStation platforms.
It did, didn't it? I mean, PS1, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But
PS1 still locked the butler in the fridge. Was it the fridge?
Oh yeah,
walking fridge. Yeah.
That was a mental hard challenge when I was younger, trying to do that.
Yeah.
Because you had to get the guy to follow you as slow as he did all the way around the house, and then do the obstacle course around the house to trap him in the fridge. That was bad. That was badass. That was probably the thing I did most in the game.
Exactly. And I bet you did it.
Apart from trying to kill the T-Rex.
Yeah, you did it all without being awarded an achievement point for it.
Yeah, well, yeah, true.
And I think on that note, we'll call time on this week's podcast. As ever, you can follow us on Twitter at Bottle Rocket, or like us on Facebook at facebook.com/RyanBottleRocket. Please subscribe to the video to the YouTube channel if you enjoyed the stuff. Please.
We're begging you.
We are begging. If you enjoy it, give us a sub, give us a like, give us a comment, let us know what you think. Talk to us, we're always happy to talk back. Thanks for watching. I've been Chris.
I've been Jake.
I've been Ben.
And we'll catch you next time.
Ciao.
Peace.